you're learning a very systematic. When I study, he's very good, but he jumping all over. So I spending few days to understand why he jumps so much. Because he just feel it and he just jump and jump and jump and no pattern. And the Thai government at that time, they want to give people that improve the old technique and have better way. So they give 350 baht. That means in Thailand quite a lot, and 350 baht for price that who can improve the technique of all these old traditional technique and massage and all these things. So I apply for that. So they have the toxin expert and the doctor and the physical therapist come. And I show them and have them experience it. In the beginning, because the traditional many thousand years of toxin, they don't agree with it. They say you change too many things. If you change, I said, no, actually not changing, but I make it more easier to understand. And I show them this. I show them the traditional toxin, okay? And I show them the Chinese is very nearly identical, very similar, but the muscle tendon meridian is 12. But this muscle tendon meridian are so close to the Western we call a muscle train, T-R-A and train, muscle train. That means a group of muscle is nearly closely identical. So a 12 organ meridian and muscle trains slightly different, and they have organ by itself also. Like they have the muscle region of the lung channel, or we call the muscle train, a muscle tendon meridian channel. And this is, they discover that in this part as a training, so they use a lot in the training, like the iron shirt and the bone marrow and all the qigong, all the martial art, because that involve it when you hurt a tendon, how you correct them. So they have 12. Now the West, they started to study and give a lot of, every muscle have a name. You really need to memorize that, Okay. So they study piece by piece by piece, but finally the muscle train, which is they discover that their muscle work as a team. And so this um, muscle train, and so they have different muscle. Like this one is the last. This is the muscle region of the stomach channel. That means the whole muscle, and you can see that I started to put the name down. So they're very similar with the muscle train the West discovered. And this one, the muscle region of the heart channel, and and you can see that they are very work together with the muscle and the heart, and go to the pinky fingers. Okay. And this one like the same thing as the muscle train of the small intestine. And this is the spleen meridian, spleen channel, become the tendon. So that, so 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 this one is a book, and they started to, I don't know who studied from who, I don't know, but the muscle tendon meridian already exists at least few thousand years, and this muscle train. So you can see there are muscles that are running along, like the spinal cord. It's the same. So you're going to learn the first step is the spinal cord, but there are these two big muscles, so we call the circumtuberous ligament. It's a long muscle. So this muscle is running here. So this is a circumtuberous is a big muscle, and tendon also. The muscle and tendon. And it running from the head, actually from the eye, running all the way to the back, all connecting all the way down to the sacrum, to the hip, to the leg, and down to the toes. And they have we call ribbon muscle that like you wrap something, like ribbon. Okay. So you can see that this is, so in the we call the muscle trends of in the muscle tendon meridian and the acupuncture. They are very clear. They are very similar, come together. So this one we call the bladder meridian. And this one in the West known as we call parasympathetic. And in the spinal cord we call sympathetic. And out from the spinal cord out, there we call the parasympathetic. And, in the East, they discovered this for a long time, and they use them as, and they give the bladder meridian, but they have song to sing, that what point connecting to what organ, and what organ. So every point in this on the side of the spinal cord, under the big muscle, is all the what we call by parasympathetic, and each point connecting to the lung, the heart, the spleen, the stomach. So every organ is connecting there. So we can see this muscle, okay? And this muscle is quite long from the back, and you have front also. So that is what the major part, and we have the side muscle tendon meridian, muscle tendon, yeah. And we have the ribbon, the muscle that wrap around, okay. So that all these muscle, when you separate them out, you started to see that their attachment, they always have a certain attachment to make sure that you can hold your hand, you can move your hand in different part. Like this one, the humerus bone here in the arm, there are so many attachments. So now we're going to, so the toxin is need two. So this is a standard tool, and this one we call wooden hammer. And we have the round one. So the round one, usually we say activate the tendon, because you can, when you hit up and down, you started to, we call activate the tendons. Or you want to loosening the muscle, big muscle. And we have the flat one. So flat one, we have two. One is more thinner, one is a bigger. Now we have the two split. This one for the spine, or for the knee, or for the ankle. It really helps, because oftentimes the spinal cord being pulled out because the circumflex ligament are out of balance. One side pull and the other side not pull. So now the spinal cord out of balance. So in this one, you don't work on the spinal cord itself, but you work on the both sides of the spinal cord. This one, especially for some tight place, or from the ankle bone, ankle, elbow, and between the bone and muscle. So the whole thing that we're going to do first is the spinal cord. And so you now for people, I sometimes I do myself, like uh, uh, you see, if you laying down or you sit, you can do it like I start on the navel, okay, lie on the navel. So, but today that means the back you cannot do yourself. So you need, so the navel, you see, you can start on the navel. So the muscle and organ, and you started to go around the navel. Now, the tempo, they have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or you have tempo 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Sometimes in some part you want tempo 2 or tempo 3. Sometimes you have continuous, like you want to scratch a big muscle, you continue on. Or you, yeah, so you train your right hand, left hand works a little bit separately. So the like you have line that you're going to work on, and so with this you can scrap, you can, we call like the scooping. You go in, and so the hand technique, you see, the hand technique you have to do like you need some training only the hand technique. For example, I want to under the ribcage, I go in and I go this way. Yeah. So I 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So I turn the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I down 1. So I like a scooping from the under the ribcage. So there's a few technique. When you master, you get it. So we're going to go to all this technique back and forth, back and forth. So would เอานี่มาไว้ตรงนี้ให้ผมเลย So we're going to start with the back line. So the back line is a big back line because it starts from the it's a big back line. So we start on the, so we start from the you see, this is the west. This is the west superficial back line, and this is the bladder meridian, or we call bladder tendon. There is a muscle tendon, bladder meridian. There are 4. The middle part is the spine. So you have this coming down this way, all the way down to the back. to the leg and to the toes, and go down to the toes. So this one is the okay. So this a lot of problem, a lot of problem that we have in the acupuncture. They always come into this area and they work on it, and they cure many diseases, because this is the direct into the parasympathetic, into the organs. One is the most difficult part to work with is the neck. Okay, we will do them later on. The neck and under the scalp. But when you understand it, it's so good, so efficiency. So you see this line is the spinal, this line is spinal cord. And this line out on the side of it is about come out about 2 centimeters on the side. Yeah. All the major organ reflect points is there. And you can see that how this what the West very detailed on that. But this technique, you're going to see that all the anatomy point that the West talk about, this one will bring you to incredible technique that you can really heal, you can really fix so many problems. It's not a miracle, but you really can fix a lot of things. And this is, I rearrange this also. This is what the parasympathetic, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic we call active. Like we wake up, we do this, we do that, yeah. But when we go to, when we're too busy and have emotional, now we're going to go into stress. Good that we have another system called parasympathetic. And the hypothalamus, because it controls it. Oh, you are too much now in the sympathetic. Now you need the hypothalamus will say, okay, we need to go into parasympathetic. That means calm down, relax. But sometimes people just working, busy, emotional. We force ourselves, go on. You don't let the hypothalamus have a chance to relax you down. So the down for so we have the like the inner smile, the learn how to smile to the sympathetic and activate the parasympathetic. we're going to work on the lumbar. So all this lumbar cause a lot of trouble. And the whole sacrum. So there's a little bit more technique to do that. All what you learn from the Nei Tsang 1, Nei Tsang 2 is in here. You're going to use them all. Back pain, oftentimes tendon, muscle, all tangled, tendon, muscle, nerve, all tangled together. So this is a very powerful tool to help you. Always have some idea about the anatomy part. Because you are working, because we are covered with the skin and covered with the muscle, covered with the ligament, and so you have to feel. Feeling is always feel it. Oh, this is too tight, or this is bumpy. I need to scratch them out. I need to make the muscle not too tight. So when you have the whole, you see here, the spinal cord, rib cage on the side, and a lot of nervous system come out. And the way you want to identify is the bone. Muscle and bone, is the major key. So we work all the way down to the feet, to all what we learned already. So now all the technique you learn in Nei Tsang 1, Nei Tsang 2 will apply in here. So this is the back. So the back here, the scapula is a major cause of problem. The scapula. Because under the scapula, there are so many nerves and tendons. With our finger is very hard to reach that. Okay. So finally, we work down into the to the feet. So this is a long one. We hope we can finish it today, this morning or tomorrow in the back. So I will give you enough time and give you over and over to review, and you follow me, and you still have rewatch them. You can rewatch them. Okay, so we're going to work on this. We need you to be face down. Yes. ช่วยเอาอันนี้ออกได้ไหม huh? No. Oh, later on. You feel okay? Okay. I'll wait. Um, we need to get the tool on the side. Okay. So the first step, you have to feel this. Okay. So you feel, usually like in a massage, we started to feel here and we use the palm here to do it. Okay. Okay. So make sure these two muscles are loose. Now, traditionally in the Toksen, they say woman, they say men start on the left side. Here, I'm standing on the left side. The left, okay? So this is the left side. So I'm going to adjust the muscle that too tight and it pull the spinal cord, cause the spinal cord. If you go on like that too long for year and year, you get trouble for that. Okay. So I start with this. So let